We exist in the world filled with unending noise, chaos, and distraction. Yet in the depths of it all, there's one thing that seems to persist like an invisible weight upon our soul. Someone who occupies our mind, our thoughts, our very being. This person, who holds dominion over your heart and mind, is not just a product of fleeting desire or a transient thought. They are the reflection of something deeper, something that resides within us. Seneca's insights, though often hidden beneath the surface, offer us secrets, unexpected truths that shed light on why someone is always on your mind. But more than just understanding them, these truths beckon us toward a higher calling, a life of control, fortitude, and self-mastery. In the teachings of the Stoics, we find an ancient wisdom that calls us to look inward, to understand our emotions, and to transcend the impulses that govern us. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, wrote in his Meditations, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." The mind is where the battle begins, and if we are to achieve true mastery over ourselves, we must first confront the illusions that bind us to others. Let us begin with these 6 unexpected secrets, each one a step towards achieving the calm and clarity that comes with true self-control. But before we dive in, if you find value in the Stoic wisdom we share, do us a quick favor. Hit that like button, subscribe, and stay with us till the end. 1. The mirror of the soul. There is a belief that the people who occupy our thoughts are not just figures from our external world. They are mirrors of our inner self. We may see in them parts of ourselves that we either deny or fail to understand. The Stoics teach us the same. Our emotions are not to be feared, but examined. Epictetus wrote, "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them." If you find yourself obsessed with someone, it is often not about them, but what they represent. Perhaps qualities you wish to have or those you wish to reject in yourself. This reflection is an invitation, not a curse. The Stoics would urge us not to be disturbed by this reflection, but to meet it with courage, to understand that true strength lies in knowing oneself deeply and responding with equanimity, not reactivity. 2. The tyranny of expectations. The mind holds on to others not because they possess some unique power, but because of the expectations we place upon them. Our projections, the expectations that we attach to others, are often rooted in unmet desires from within. Seneca, the Roman Stoic philosopher, cautioned, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." When we project our desires, fantasies, and expectations onto someone, we become enslaved to them. We seek to mold them, shape them, and control them, and in doing so, we lose our own freedom. The path of fortitude requires us to release these expectations, to see others clearly for who they are, not who we wish them to be. Only then can we begin to reclaim our peace. 3. The unseen wounds of the past. The unconscious mind carries the burdens of the past, unresolved traumas, unmet needs, and unfinished business. These hidden wounds bleed into our present, often shaping the people we fixate on. The Stoics, in their pursuit of virtue, would have us examine the wounds of our past not with regret, but with an eye toward wisdom. Epictetus wrote, "The greater the difficulty, the more glory in surmounting it. Skillful pilots gain their reputation from storms and tempests." To overcome these destructive emotions is not to ignore them, but to face them with courage. When we allow ourselves to feel, to examine, and to understand the roots of our attachments, we strip them of their power. It is in this confrontation that true fortitude arises, the ability to rise above the pain and see the world for what it truly is, free from the shadows of the past. 4. The illusion of control. Our attachments are often rooted in a desire to control that which cannot be controlled. We believe that if we possess someone, emotionally, physically, or mentally, we can shield ourselves from the uncertainty of life. The Stoics understood this truth well. Epictetus reflected, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." Control is an illusion, and in our obsession with others, we seek to control what is inherently uncontrollable. The Stoic path is one of surrender, not to others, but to the larger forces of the universe. It is the acceptance that our power lies not in domination, but in how we respond to external events. By releasing our need to control, we find the greatest freedom, the ability to act in accordance with virtue, regardless of the circumstances. 5. The heart of desire. Desire is the fuel that keeps the mind tethered to another. But as the Stoics would argue, unchecked desire is the path to suffering. In Meditations, Marcus Aurelius spoke of the importance of temperance. Reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears. When someone is always on your mind, it is often because of the unfulfilled desire they represent. Our desires are often unconscious, shaped by forces outside of our awareness. The Stoics urge us to master desire by acknowledging it, but not allowing it to control us. It is in this act of mastery that we find true peace. For when we no longer crave what we cannot have, we become free to pursue what is within our control, our character, our virtue, and our actions. 6. The call to wholeness. Finally, the individuation, the process of becoming whole. People who occupy our thoughts are not simply distractions, they are catalysts for our growth. Zeno, who is the godfather of Stoic, once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." The Stoics share this vision of self-actualization. For them, the pursuit of virtue was not a path to perfection, but a continual striving to be the best version of oneself. Each attachment, each fixation, is a challenge, a call to examine who we are and what we need to overcome. To be consumed by thoughts of another is to be called to a higher state of being, where we are no longer ruled by our emotions, but guided by our highest wisdom. The road ahead. The Stoics knew that the path to inner peace was not an easy one. It was not for the faint-hearted, but it was a path worth walking, a path that required discipline, self-control, and an unshakable commitment to the truth. If we are to free ourselves from the grip of another's influence, we must first master ourselves. The unexpected secrets that reveal the depth of our attachments, but the Stoic wisdom calls us to transcend them. We are not bound by our emotions. We are not slaves to our desires. We are, instead, the architects of our own fate, capable of rising above the storms of our mind and becoming truly free. So let us walk this path together toward self-control, fortitude, and a life lived in accordance with virtue. For in this pursuit, we find not only peace, but the strength to face the world and all its challenges, undaunted and unshaken.